Destiny's PvP. It's seen a lot in its first few years, from weapon balancing and new game types, to matchmaking changes that was tweaked back and forth between connection and skill based. At this point we don't know everything there is to know, but it seems the series aims to hit the ground running this time around, and in this video we'll be talking about some of the changes coming to the player versus player side of Destiny 2.
Yeah, I was going to ask, PvP players, thanks. A competitive multiplayer, the place that brings you into combat with the most dreaded opponents in the world of Destiny. You guys.
Enemy has a power.
Perhaps one of the biggest core changes that will affect both PvP and PvE is how our loadouts will work. In Destiny 1 things were pretty simple. We had 3 weapon types, primary, secondary and heavy. However, Bungie never really found a good balance, and that led to several metas ranging from overpowered hand cannons, highly abused shotguns and issues balancing the ammo distribution. Ultimately, we were left with underutilised primaries, especially compared to the more powerful one-shot weapons and abilities, and a pretty messy and unvaried experience across all the PvP modes. To remedy this, Bungie have decided, even with some initial doubt from inside their own team, to redefine their weapon system completely. Gone is our familiar loadout we've come accustomed to, in favour of kinetic, energy and power weapon slots. These essentially translate into 2 primary slots, one of which holds guns with an energy variant such as Solar Void or Arc, and a power weapon slot. This final slot combines all of those one-hit kill weapon archetypes such as snipers and shotguns into one place, with the aim of decreasing some of their prevalence.
Like Luke said, we've made some big changes to the Crucible in Destiny 2. We're building it for PvP players. It's now 4v4 across all the game modes. The new HUD's got information about your opponents, like whether they have their super ready, whether they picked up power ammo, all towards the same goal. An experience that's easy to get into, but it's hard to master.
So we now know it's 4v4 across all the PvP game modes, and there's several quality of life adjustments that include a tweaked kill feed and more on-screen feedback. This means we'll know exactly who's alive on both sides and what class they are, we'll know if someone has their supercharged, and we'll know if someone has picked up power ammo and what part of the map they're on. This is all thanks to new location labels and power ammo drops that only a single person can acquire. So with all that in mind, there's no doubt there's been a lot of refinement and effort to introduce extra information into our gameplay experience.
All opponents down. A powerful finish.
So we got new maps, we got new modes, and we believe this is the best PvP offering that Destiny has ever seen. Today we're introducing one of the brand new modes. It's called Countdown, the first ever attack defend mode in Destiny.
Countdown is a brand new attack defense mode to Destiny, where an attacking team must place a charge at one of 2 locations, whilst the other team defends and, if necessary, defuses it. The mode seems to benefit heavily from the new on-screen feedback, as well as the introduction of revive tokens that limits the amount of times you can bring back your teammates from the dead. Survival is another new mode to the series. In this mode each team will have a certain amount of lives or respawns, and once that number is depleted, death will be permanent for the rest of the round. Then Destiny 1's control mode is back as well, but has had a few changes of its own. Firstly, the initial A and C capture zones are automatically captured to each side, encouraging a spawn fight for point B. Other tweaks mean you won't have to capture the point twice if your enemy owns it, and it'll capture at the same rate regardless of how many players are on that point. Everything seems to be geared towards a more engaging mode, keeping players moving rather than static for long periods of time. Finally, 2 more modes have been hinted at, the first being the infamous Elimination Trials mode. The second is Supremacy, which footage shown during a PvP trailer suggested will also be back. This mode entails each kill you make dropping a token for you to pick up and score points with. Along with the new open world locations come new PvP maps. So far we know of 6 new maps: the Endless Vale on Nessus, European Dead Zone is host to Midtown, Vostok takes us back to the Iron Temple on Fairwinter Peak, Javelin 4 comes from IO, and then on Mercury we have Altar of Flame. Also, if you're a PlayStation owner, you'll have access to a map named Retribution. All the maps have been specifically built with 4v4 in mind with size and design to give a more catered to experience. Aside from the main features, there's a few more details worth noting. Kinetic weapons do extra precision damage, whilst energy weapons will inflict extra damage to Guardian supers. All assists will now count as kills. You'll no longer be able to revive or pick up power ammo whilst taking damage. Dedicated servers will not be coming to Destiny 2, instead there'll be a tweaked version of Destiny 1's hybrid peer-to-peer networking. And finally, there'll also be no ranked PvP or private matches at launch. Both have been discussed as possibilities in the future. So that's a roundup of what we know of PvP right now, and the release is just round the corner, so there's plenty more to come of that, I'm sure. Please comment, like and subscribe, and visit Destination Destiny on NGB for a ton of Destiny related content. We also have a fortnightly podcast which you can find on the site or on iTunes. So thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in Destiny 2. Take care.